All right, not too bad. Okay, kind of the usual assignment here. So let's get started. I'm going to snip in some questions and we'll take a look here.
There's another homework after this one for the exam.
Like the exam review?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are always good to do because you've got, they're like the exam.
I'll probably have to schedule like another lesson or two with you to do that one.
Great. Yeah, happy to help. All right, so you kind of closing out the course here with regression. It's where they always go here. So the residual says that they give you an equation and ask for the residual. The residual, and this is something you'll have to know, is y minus y hat. Y is this y right here. So it's 819 minus whatever value we get from putting 3 back into the equation. Okay, so you can see it's 800 plus 7 times 3. That's 821. Your residual is -2. It physically represents the difference between the observed value and the predicted value. Y hat is the predicted value. You might have heard that in class. All right, so go ahead and, as always, check those as we go. If there's an issue, let me know here. So we are going to be going right to the calculator already for number 2. And you'll like it. I mean, the calculator's doing the heavy lifting here. So we're going to go to the calculator, but I'll just kind of frame this as X is going to go in list 1, Y is going to go in list 2. So let me get my calculator going here. First lesson of the day. I don't always have everything up because I don't know if I'll need it. Let's see, downloads. All right, so let me go ahead and share that, talk you through it, write down the instructions as well. Okay, so you're going to go to the usual place, stat, edit, stat, edit. And if you got stuff in your list, as a reminder, you go up to whatever list you have stuff in, and then hit clear, and then enter. It'll clear it out. We're just entering the data here, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6. All right, L2, 50, 70, 75, 80, 94.
Yep.
All right, and once you get that in, always quit out here, quit. All right, and now this is a little different place. We're going to stat calc. We've been here before. We're going to use, and there's two options here. There's this lin reg, which is fine, that works. And then there's also lin reg down here. And you're like, what's the difference? Well, A is the constant in the second lin reg. B is the constant in the first lin reg. So it's like, almost think of it like this. 4 is like the high school linear regression. 8 is like the college one, because this is the kind of the preferred order. They do exactly the same thing. Don't even know why they have them both in here. But when you hit enter, you have to give it your list. And I don't know what your screen shows here, but I think you've got to give it like list 1 and then list 2. What do you have do you know if you've got what you see on that side?
Yeah, it says X list.
So that's L1.
Yeah.
And then the next one will be
Y list.
Sorry about that. I don't know why that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Mine, of course, closed. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, can you enter in your L1 and L2 and then tell me what you see?
All I have to do is hit, it's already saved in the list, right?
Oh, good. Yeah, it should be for the first time. Okay. Yes. Sorry about that. My screen sharing thing just crapped out.
Oh,
Here
really?
we go. All right, here we go. So do you have an equation there? Something like it'll say y equals a plus bx.
42.6 and 7.8
for a. So there you go. Like that. So that's the nice thing. Nice thing is that it just does it for you. You don't have to do anything, and you've got it. All right, so for three, it's the same thing. New data set, but this time they want the slope. Okay, so I'm gonna do it as well. I'm gonna go to my calculator here, and you want to enter X in L1, Y in L2, and we will get here some regression 5, 4, 3, 6. All right, stat, calc. Is this the exact same data set as the previous one?
No.
No, okay. Boy, it looks so similar. All right, you get a nice linear regression here. Let's snip that in.
Do I go down to the same?
Yeah, same thing. You're gonna go stat,
Okay, I got
edit.
52.
Yes.
0.6.
So that's the slope is the b value.
Oh, okay. 7.8.
And this is the y-intercept. Yeah, so 7.8 on that one.
Okay, sweet.
All right. So next question here. Hopefully you like regression. It's not hard. It's just a matter of putting the data in correctly. There's a bit more to it, but we'll see what they come up with. All right, a regression analysis between sales in thousands and advertising in dollars resulted in the following equation. The above equation implies that. Okay, so there is there's like a recipe for how to describe the slope. Okay, and the slope is always described like this: for every 1 unit increase in X. Okay, so see how this 1, 2, and 3 have, or A, C, and D have 1 unit increase in X. It follows that there is and then you got to choose increase or decrease in Y. Okay, so it's based on the sign of the slope. So since the sign of the slope is positive, it's going to be, they all say increase, increase, increase. Now, is it $7 in sales? Well, that's the slope. Or is it $7,000 in sales? Well, remember, it's Y is in thousands. So 7 really means 7,000. Okay, but your takeaway should be that you have to remember this like recipe for how to write it. For every 1 unit increase in X, there is an increase or decrease in Y.
Okay.
You will see a question for sure like that on your sample test. And of course, we see another one here in question 5. All right, so question 5. All right, based on the estimated regression equation, if the price is the price is increased by 6 units, so that's X. Okay, they have to tell you what the variables are. This is the price is X. If X goes in here by 6, what happens to the output Y? Well, you can see that it's minus 20 times 6, which is minus 120. The negative means decrease. Okay, so they never say like increase by negative 120. It's always decrease by whatever this amount is. Or if it's positive, they just say increase this amount. So the correct answer here is D, decrease by 120. Any questions on that or thoughts?
No, it's all good.
Okay. Back to the calculator. All right, number 6 here, it says you're given the following information about Y and X. Okay, now look at this. They are switching X and Y. Okay, why would they do that? Because it's hard to make these problems difficult. You want your X in list 1 and your Y in list 2. Your teacher will give you a question on the practice exam that's very deceptive, where you have to decide which one is the X and which one is the Y. we can look at that language together whenever that's available. But please, please, please pay attention to this, because this is where you'll go wrong. You'll do the wrong equation, the wrong order, and the wrong answer will be there. Okay. Let's put this in list 1, this in list 2, and let's get that regression equation.
For some reason, I'm stuck on list 3.
I moved to the left to get it.
Yeah, I tried to.
Did you, maybe you deleted your lists?
Oh, I think I
So
did.
when you do that, let me go back. Let me go to that screen here. So what I'm hearing is when you go to edit, there's no list 1 and list 2. Is that right? It just starts at
Yeah.
list 3. Okay. So to reset your I was about to say phone. We're not doing phones. Second mem is under the plus.
Okay.
And then you want to go down to reset number 7. And then you want to do all.
Okay.
And then it, takes 1 second, and then you go back and restart. Let me know if your lists are still not there when you go back to it.
Yeah, it's back.
So, it's good that happens. That way you now have a path, back. Whereas if like it happens during the exam, you're like, oh my God, what are you going to do? This is really
Yeah.
bad. All right, so I got the regression up there. New share. Okay, so let me know when you get caught up to here. I think it'd be good for you to do one more of these, but we will be doing more, so it's up to you if you want to do
Do I
it.
go down to number 8 again?
Yes.
And we're finding X.
No, this one's different. So this one you have to write the equation.
Okay.
17 minus 2x, and then when it says find the point estimate of y when x equals 2, you're putting 2 in for x.
Okay, so 17 minus 2 times 2.
Yes.
$13. Positive
Yes.
13.
Yes. Sorry, I was looking for your reference sheet here. Let me do a quick search. Exam formulas. Okay. Any questions on before we move on to number 7?
That's all.
All right. Those are kind of all your warm-up questions, but you'll see something like that on the test or quiz or exam coming up. So for number 7 is awful. They don't give you the data. They give you like a summary of the data. They tell you that sigma of x, that means the sum of x, sigma of y means the sum of the y values. They give you this SSE. They also give you this y minus y bar, which means every y value minus the average times every x value minus the average. The sum of those, the sum of more and more, right? And none of this really matters, because the fact that you would have to do this by hand is ridiculous. Like you would never be asked in real life to do this by hand. You would, though, in your statistics course, of course. So this is where I'm going to the reference sheet that I believe you guys are getting for exam 3, and I'm going to show this to you here. So I don't know, I can't get the snip to work. There it is.
Have you been meeting with your other student much? That's in the same class.
She, I think she waits until the exams.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's a little different. Some people want help every week, same time. Some people just do it, when they get stuck. Some people only want it on the exams.
Mhm.
Okay. So I apologize. I know this is just this for non-math person, this looks ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But they're asking you for the slope or B1. So you just got to be able to find that. Okay. And you're like, all right, there's B1. So B1 is the summation of xi minus x bar, yi minus y bar. It's this value here divided by this value here.
Mhm.
So that's what you're looking for. So we're just going to take the, once you kind of know the formula, it's not that bad. It's 469 divided by 232. Believe it or not, it's that simple.
Okay. .022.
Yes. All right. Any follow-up to that? Because 8's kind of similar. We're going to use that
Mhm.
equation sheet again. All right, go grab this one. So this time we're looking for what's called the coefficient of determination.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I guess it's okay. There it is. So the coefficient of determination is r squared. So you need what's called the SSR divided by SST. You need the SSR, which is really over here. So it's the yi minus y squared. So it's that right there.
Okay. So
No,
do
I'm
the
sorry.
same thing as the last problem, and then
I'm sorry. That's not right. Sorry, that's not right. But go ahead. What was your question?
do you do the same thing as the last question and then subtract that answer by 1438?
We're the last one we were using the B1 formula up here.
Okay.
So this one's a little different. Now, the reason I caught myself is this is y hat
Mhm.
and this one is yi. So I was in error here. So let me restart here.
It says SST.
Yeah, SST is SST is that one right there. Okay, so we've got the bottom number. So we have 1438 on the bottom. The top number we can get using a slightly different approach here. To find SSR, we're going to use this equation right here and this value right here. And here's how that works is the total is 1,438 equals SSR, which we don't have. But we do have the SSE, 507.98. Okay, so to solve for the SSR, you subtract 507.98 from both sides. All right, so we get 930.02.
Yeah.
And that's your numerator.
Okay.
So you just have to divide those and looks like it's letter D.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so moving along here, chunking along here pretty good. Let's see. All right, so 9 is the kind of your exam question because the style is they don't tend to give you like a lot of information in each question in general. So here we go. It's if the regression analysis of SSC equals 600 and SSR equals 200, find the coefficient of determination. So we're using the exact same formula as we were using up here. R squared is SSR over SST. And you say, okay, well, I got SSR. How do I find SST? Well, SST is SSR plus SSE. Okay, so you have the SSE value, you have the SSR value. So this is 200 plus 600. SST is now 800. And I'm not telling you what any of these things are. We're just kind of working the equations to find them. Hopefully they're giving you a little more information on that in class.
So it'd be the first option.
Yes, that looks right. Okay. Just gonna check something real quick here. All right, so we're looking at, here we go. So it's 10, 10's like a vocabulary type question. The coefficient of determination is a positive value, then the correlation coefficient. So here's the coefficient of determination. It's R squared. The correlation coefficient is R. It's like, well, how do you go from R squared to R? Well, you take the square root. Okay. So if you recall, when you take a square root, it could be plus or minus. You remember that?
So would it be the bottom one?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right. Okay, next problem here. Yeah, you definitely get something on coefficient of determination correlation. All right, if the correlation coefficient is 0.3, that's R. R is the correlation coefficient. The coefficient of determination is R squared. All right. To go from R to R squared, well, it's pretty clear. You have to square that value. So you've got to square 0.3. And please use a calculator. It's easy to make a mistake here. There's no reason to.
Okay. Oh, did it wrong. 0.09.
Yes. Okay, so 0.09. So to go to a percentage, you have to multiply by 100. Oops, why did it do that? So 0.09 times 100 is
9%.
9%. Good. Yeah, so hopefully you're seeing that. It's easy to give the wrong answer, even though you know how to do the work. All right, so here we go. All right, so in regression analysis, if SST equals 4,000 and SSR equals 2,760, the correlation coefficient could be, so again, this is that whole R squared thing we were doing a couple of problems ago. R squared is SSR over SST. So it's 2,760 over 4,000. So could you go ahead and calculate that for us, please?
0.69.
Yes. Now, why do you think it's giving you two options here? Any idea about that? Kind of talked about that in a problem or two ago.
I don't know. My best guess would be if you flip the 4,000 over the 2,760.
So remember when we said if you take the square root of R squared, that it's really plus or minus. That's the issue here. Okay. Now, we have not taken the square root of this yet. Okay, this is the coefficient of determination. They want you, and that's what you have to do here. You have to now take plus or minus the square root of 0.69.
Okay. Sorry, 0.831.
Yes, yes, good. Really good. All right. So we're trying to, I think one of the things we should say right here is that the correlation coefficient is R, and it can either be, it's either positive or negative, depending on the situation. The coefficient of determination is R squared, okay? Now the correlation coefficient can range from -1 to 1, but the coefficient of determination always ranges from 0 to 1.
Okay.
There's going to be some sort of question where you have to distinguish between the two.
Okay. Would be SSE must be equal to 0.
Yeah, so let me get to that. So that goes back to the formula. Goes back to the formula. So if we go again, R squared is SSR over SST. R squared is SSR over SST. So all of these are about SSE. Like, so how do we even do this? Well, SST is SSR plus SSE. Okay. So for this equation to equal 1, the top has to equal the bottom. The only way the top equals the bottom is if SSE is 0.
Okay.
Because then it goes away. All right. 14.
Yep.
All right, if there's a very strong correlation between two variables, then the coefficient of determination must be. So strong correlation would be, for example, an R value of like plus or minus 0.97, okay? Could be positive or negative, but notice when you square it, the negative goes away. So when you square this number, it gets really close to 1.
Okay, so the first one.
Yes. All right, so we're back 15. We're back to kind of doing some calculations here. Let's take a look at these. All right, so I'm going to grab that equation. Sorry for all the scrolling. I don't know how annoying it is, but I don't know how else to do it. Okay, here we go. Here's the equation. So we're trying to find the correlation coefficient this time. That's R. That's R, but we start by finding R squared. Okay, so once we find R, we're going to take the square root of whatever we get for R squared to find R. So notice they give you SSR. They give you the numerator. Okay, so we know that R squared is going to equal to 933.02. And we need the SST. The SST is this YI minus Y bar squared. That's this 1435. Okay. Now we're going to take a square root of that. But we don't know whether it's positive or negative yet. So we have to do something else to figure out whether it's positive or negative. So can you go ahead and calculate that for us, please?
.81 or sorry, 0.8063.
But it's plus or minus, right? It's plus or minus 0.8063. So which one is it? Is it that one or that one? And that's where you got to do something else to figure it out. Now there's this little piece of information that, really important to look at. It says that the value of R is based on the sign of B1. So we need to go look at the calculation of B1 and decide whether it's positive or negative, because that tells you whether your answer is positive or negative. We're going to all this trouble because you will get something on your test that's like this, and you won't know whether it's positive or negative, and you don't want to be guessing. It's not like let's make a deal where, there's prizes behind both doors. We want to get the right answer. So B1, we did that before. B1 is 469. That's the numerator. So notice this formula has i's, xi's, and the ones that are given do not. It should, but it doesn't. Can't help you on that, but it should. Then the bottom number is 233. And this is positive. Some sort of positive number. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Do you want me to solve that one?
Well, we know it's positive now. I'm just trying to, you can see two positive numbers make a positive, so the answer is positive.
Okay.
0.8063. I'm just trying to pause and let that, see if that like makes sense, or if it's like, no, I don't get it. That way we can get it figured out for the exam.
16.
Just need a moment here.
These ones look long.
Yes. All right, so 16. Why did that happen? All right, 16. Okay, so you're going to start by putting this into your calculator here. And this time the regression equation will not be as nice. It won't be nice whole numbers, but again, L1, L2, this doesn't matter. Go ahead and enter that into your calculator. I'm going to use another piece of software to get the regression equation as well. We'll compare results.
Okay. And then second quit.
Yeah, quit out of there and do the second calc, or do the calc, second calcs, no, stat calc, the
Number 8.
yeah, number 8 again.
Okay, for I got 1.2538 for A.
Yes. Yep. So I don't know the way they want this entered, but 1 point, it says 5 decimal places, right? Yeah, 5 decimal places. So 1.25384 plus 0.00952 x. So you have to enter all that in for
Just type it in just like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, fantastic. Now, my question to you is because I haven't I've noticed mine isn't showing this, and I don't know what yours shows by default. Let me go back to it. Do you have some stuff below here? When you do the regression, like R squared, SS, E, this and that, or not?
No, it looks just like that.
Okay, that's a problem. So let me help you fix that. So you go to second mem. No, that's not right. Second catalog, maybe? Yes. Okay. Go down to where okay. This is probably ridiculous. Looks ridiculous. So go to second catalog and you got to scroll down to diagnostic on. And hit enter when you see it.
Okay.
So when you do that, then you hit enter there. If you do the same calculation again, you're going to get a bunch of other stuff, R squared and R.
Go back to second cal or second stat.
Yes. There's also another way to do this that might be better. I wonder if you can do an ANOVA. Sorry, I got to try this because I don't remember if I'm just looking ahead. I don't think it's going to give you everything that you want here. This one does give you the p-value. Does it give you the test statistic? Does, but you have to take the square root of that. Reason I'm kind of like frustrated here is like your calculator really limits you on this problem because you do need to go back and do you do need to go back and do a stat calc number 8 again, and that will give you the coefficient of determination. So if you could do that again for us.
When I hit second,
or sorry, second stat. I keep saying the wrong word.
yeah, when I hit second stat, it says names, OPS, and math.
I'm sorry, it's just stat. Sorry, it's just stat.
Okay.
Calc. And then go down to number 8.
Okay.
Okay. And I ran this in some other software I use, so I've got the actual values, but you won't have it in your test. But did you get for R squared
0.6468?
Yes, very good. All right. 0.6469 when it's rounded. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the other screen. Explain it to me and give your answer as a percent. So you have to multiply this number by 100. So that's 64.69% of the variability in, and then the drop down here probably is Y, the Y value, which maybe is price in your problem. It's always the Y value, the variability in the Y value, whatever the Y value is, that's what it is. That's another question they tend to ask on these things.
Okay. Let me check that. Okay, yeah, those are all right.
Fantastic. Part C is to calculate the correlation coefficient. That's the R value. So if you got your calculator still screen up, you should see an R value of
0. 0.8042.
Yes, 0.804. That last two rounds up to a 3. Check that. All right, and then there's a bit more here. It says to state the null and alternative hypothesis. So we haven't done any hypothesis testing in what we've done today. I don't want to say this. The way to do this is it's like a beta 1 equals 0. Beta 1 does not equal 0. Or I guess use that exclamation point like that.
How do I do the beta?
Over on the right somewhere, there's going to be a thing that says Greek letters. It'll say Greek.
Oh, that's right.
And then I think it's that there at the top, and then a subscript 1. I think might want to check another version to see if that's what it wants. But
For the first one, I just do B equals 0.
B1, beta 1, subscript 1.
It's not just like regular 1, is it? Like on the
You have to do the drop down, like the underscore, which is it looks like it's under functions.
Okay.
Let's try and help here. So that's the underscore.
Okay. The 1.
Yeah.
Equals 0.
And then I like copy and paste when I got to go to the next row and do the same thing. Just copy it from one to the next. That way I have to retype it.
Okay. And that one's 1 equals 0.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't like the second one. I did B1 and then 1 equals 0.
It's the exclamation point though. The exclamation point equal 0.
Okay.
Try that, please.
Complicated.
Yes, it sure is.
All right, I got that.
Got that. Okay. Now, problem is you don't have the test statistic in your in that list, that kind of that drop down. And I don't think your equation sheet has it either. Let me see if it does. Okay, yeah, actually you do have it. It's just a mess. Wow. So there's equations, but boy, they are not, they're going to be tough to do by hand. So to find the t-value, I'm going to show you this here real quick. I'm going to give you the result. To find the value of the test statistic, it's over here on the right. It's this B1 over SB1. B1 is the slope. So we have that from the regression equation. SB1 you get from S over the square root of this thing. What is this thing? Or what is S? It's the square root of MSE. You actually have all these values. We're going to have to, you want to find out what your teacher is having you do in class for this. Because the software, like when I use the software, it just works. And I'll give you that value here. It's 3 point, how many decimal places? 3.026. And then the p-value is 0.0292. You don't want to have to be calculating this by hand. So I'm happy to, use the software to do it, but your calculator is limited in it. You may have to do what's called an ANOVA, which you probably don't want to do. So the conclusion here is to reject H0. We cannot, we cannot, we,
We can conclude.
yeah. It's either this one or this one. All right, we are out of time for today, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here.